Yo, what's good, world? It's your boy Preezy back with another edition of Industry Insights, where I share true words of wisdom for various entrepreneurs, athletes, musicians, celebrities, and other great figures from all walks of life. Today, I'm here to share 10 industry insights from rapper, entrepreneur, and executive Master P to help inspire you to reach your peak as an entrepreneur. Enjoy.
I think the way I blew up, I invested into myself. I ain't never went looking for no company to put no record out on me. And I think it's a difference. If you believe in something and it's you, then you got to invest in it. You got to invest, and you got to invest into yourself. You know, and I think that's where I come from. You know, I come from a world where I finally figured out what to do, and that was investing into myself, because ain't nobody else gonna believe in you the way you gonna believe in yourself.
No deal is too big to where you can't walk away from it. Because people always say, you know, this deal is too big. Nah, no deal is too big to walk away. When I went into that office and I realized, and education is so important, because I pray for wisdom, I don't pray for money. When I walked into that meeting, I only had $500 in my pocket. And the guy just offered me $1 million. And I had to realize that this guy offered me $1 million. What am I really worth? 10, 20, 30, 40? So you have to know your value. You have to know your worth. And that was probably the best deal I ever turned down, because I ended up making Forbes top 40 under 40 after that. Walking away from that deal. So imagine if I would have took that deal, I only would have had $1 million. I would have been a millionaire, but that would probably been the only money I make, because education is so important. When I read that contract, I didn't think, maybe he didn't think that I was that educated because of my music. So you can't judge a book by its cover.
My mission is everybody have a purpose. I feel like my purpose is to educate the next generation and show them what I've been through. Even you look at a lot of the athletes, I tell people all the time, a lot of the athletes, they don't understand financial literacy, but they understand sports. They could throw a football, they could run fast, but they don't know nothing about their money. So I'm saying the financial advisors, that's how they get taken advantage of, because they put a lot of energy and effort into their talent. But nobody really put that back into learning economics, learning banking, saying that I'm gonna make millions of dollars, so I need to know these things for myself.
You know, my thing was, I looked at the music business and I said, you gotta take advantage of this while you're hot. And so I end up putting guys out that nobody heard of.
Yeah.
So people don't realize back then, the big corporations were selling music without the albums being done. They had their one sheets done. So once I figured that out, I'm like, all you need is a one sheet to go to Circuit City or Walmart or Kmart and sell this and come up with a release.
Yeah.
So I went to my graphics guy. I took pictures of all my artists.
Yeah.
They didn't even know they had albums done. And I took pictures of them. And I made one sheet, came up with stories about, and came up with names of songs. None of those songs was end up on the album. So I ended up getting the money for the album before it was done.
Super
from the
business.
stores. So I made all these one sheets up, and I'm like, now I got to deliver all these records.
Yeah.
Well, basically, you know, I mean, No Limit Sports is doing their thing, and Ricky Williams doing his thing, and got a lot of great people work for No Limit Sports, you know. But this thing here now is about, like you said, is about growing, maturing, building a proper attitude, building a proper personnel, and No Limit is looking to going to another level. And I know there's another level from where we at. You know, it's constantly, every day I get up, I'm thinking, what can I do to get bigger?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to tell y'all, like, the most important thing that I try to teach people is that we can't take money with us. So our whole thing is, what I teach my kids and my family and people around me, you love people and use money. Most people, when they're successful, you know, they use people and love money. And like I say, because we come from New Orleans, we come from the hurricane town. The hurricane might come and wash it away. You got to start over tomorrow. So we're not afraid to start over. And I think that's what life is about, not being afraid to start over.
As far as me being real, I'm going to be as real as I could be, because there's people out there that don't want to take those chances and get caught up into a 15% deal when they could own their own thing, or they could be their own self, or either they could go in there and get a better deal now that they know if they can't afford to own a company, they might not want to own a company. Some people deserve a deal. There's a lot of work with owning a company.
you know. And so it's a lot of hats you gotta wear. So the main thing is you gotta believe in yourself, and you can't fool yourself. You know, you could come out here and fool everybody else, but when you go to bed at night, you know exactly what you got, and you know exactly what type of record deal you got.
Okay, so for me, investing, understand your investment. A lot of people like to get in stuff, say they just want to make money. I tell people all the time, you can't make money. You got to love what you're doing. Be passionate about it. So when you're making that investment, make sure it's something that you know and you believe in. And if you're investing in somebody, make sure they have skin in the game too. Because a lot of people want you to invest in them, but they have nothing to lose. And I say, you know, if I'm going to invest in you, then you have to have something to lose too. And also find stuff where there's a problem. So I always look for a business with a problem. So if I find a problem, I have the solution. You want to fix it. You want to fix that house. Everybody wants a nice looking house, but the person that fixed the house is where the value come in at.
Don't be afraid to invest in yourself. That's the first thing you need to know. And when you're in a business and you want to be successful, you have to deal with the experts. At that time, Michael Jackson attorney was the top attorney in the game. He already closed probably one of the biggest deals ever for Michael Jackson. I mean, he had Neverland. I mean, you see a black guy having that type of money. And Michael Jackson was only getting 22% of record. And when I left out that meeting with that guy, which I spent $25K, that was in the 90s, early 90s. And that was probably the best money I ever spent.
The future for Master P is just to grow and be around and still be strong. I think a lot of people got to think like that. You know, a lot of people want to think, oh, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing that. I don't think like that, man. I think about just being able to be on top in the future is a hell of a goal.